Are you doing something dirty? You're doing something your parents don't know about.
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time.
If the idea is essentially I should be able to crawl the network with any degree of vigor I like, and anything I find about you is fair game for me as an employer to review, that's problematic.
It's online, but is it public information? We're going to figure out where we draw the boundaries of privacy in the online age. Social networks, such as MySpace and Facebook, are becoming best repositories for mainly personal data.
It's just the explicitness of the information that's a weird part of the current change.
Clay Shirky teaches new media at New York University, and he says social networks are profoundly changing the definition of what we consider private.
And interestingly, the defaults for all of these things are set to increase social awareness. It's not we're defaulting to private and we're letting you make it public. We're defaulting to public and letting you make it private.
Shirky's researches are more than note scribbles in a lecture hall. The industry insider turned professors off and called for advice by major companies like Microsoft and the BBC. We sat down with Clay to discuss the impact of social networks are having on privacy.
What are we going to say as a society about looking in on other people's lives? If you show up at a job interview and they say, oh, well, we've been following you on Facebook, I'm not sure that that's something, the employer's argument, in as much as they've been looking at Facebook, is anything that is accessible to me is also acceptable to me. And that seems unsupportable as a social bargain. If you go down to the mall on any given day, you can find a group of teenagers hanging out in the food court. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you can sit next to them and listen in, but you're the weird one in that situation.
Right.
And so in the real world, we carve out lots of places where you're in public, but you're not in public, right? If you were to sit up here with a shotgun microphone and point it down at Rockefeller Center and be listening in on people's conversations, well, they were out at Rockefeller Center, right? How public is that?
Right. What expectation of privacy did they have?
Exactly right. And yet, if they knew that someone was listening in with a shotgun mic, they'd be a little weirded out.
Yeah.
And I think that sense, right, it's where what the technology makes possible is colliding with our social sense of this kind of semi-public, semi-private sphere. That's what's being contested, right? That's what's being fought over. The most seriously negative consequence of this is if somehow as a society we don't carve out some space for documented personal action that's okay, then we will really have robbed young people of something they won't even know they're missing,
right?
Because they never leave the net of surveillance.
In this day and age, we use the internet as a primary tool for practically everything. On the web you can find out just about anything about any person. All you need is their name, address, social security number or phone number. Have you thought about the consequences?
Do you have a Facebook? Have you thought about the privacy you put at risk? The Facebook allows users to post their favorite music, books, movies, their address, hometown, phone number, email, clubs, jobs, educational history, birth dates, sexual orientation, interests, daily schedules, exactly how they are related to friends, upload pictures of themselves, and even political affiliations. Its privacy policy even goes so far as to state it also collects information about you from other sources, such as newspapers and instant messaging services. This information is gathered regardless of your use of the website. Think that's scary? The Facebook's term of service is state, by posting member content to any part of the website, you automatically grant, and you represent and warrant that you have the right to grant to Facebook an irrevocable, perpetual, non-exclusive, transferable, fully paid, worldwide license with the right to sub-license to use, copy, perform, display, reformat, translate, excerpt in whole or in part, and distribute such information and content, and to prepare derivative works of, or incorporate into other works such information and content, and to grant and authorize sublicenses of the foregoing. Have you seen the Facebook's Pulse feature? Pulse provides statistical trends among universities down to minute details such as percentages of females with conservative views, the student body's top 10 movies, and percentage of students who have read Catcher in the Rye. The so-called privacy policy goes on to say that they may share your information with third parties, including responsible companies with which they have a relationship. Can you think of any marketing group who would pass up buying such valid yet easily collected statistics such as these and others? So maybe they're using us. But is there more? The first venture capital money totaled at $500,000 came to the Facebook from venture capitalist Peter Thiel, founder and former CEO of PayPal. He also serves on the board of radical conservative group Vanguard PAC. Further funding came in the form of $12.7 million from venture capital firm Accel Partners. Accel's manager, James Breyer, was former chair of the National Venture Capital Association. Breyer served on National Venture Capital Association's board with Gilman Louie, CEO of In-Q-Tel, a venture capital firm established by the Central Intelligence Agency in 1999. This firm works in various aspects of information technology and intelligence, including most notably, nurturing data mining technologies. Breyer has also served on the board of BBN Technologies, a research and development firm known for spearheading the ARPANET, or what we know today as the Internet. In October of 2004, Dr. Anita Jones climbed on board BBN along with Gilman Louie. But what is most interesting is Dr. Jones' experience prior to joining BBN. Jones herself served on the board of directors for In-Q-Tel and was previously the Director of Defense Research and Engineering for the U.S. Department of Defense. Her responsibilities included serving as an advisor to the Secretary of Defense and overseeing the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. This goes farther than just the initial appearances. DARPA shot to national fame in 2002 when knowledge of the existence of the Information Awareness Office came to light. The IAO stated its mission was to gather as much information as possible about everyone in a centralized location for easy perusal by the United States government, including though not limited to internet activity, credit card purchase history, airline ticket purchases, car rentals, medical records, educational transcripts, driver's licenses, utility bills, tax returns, and any other available data. All of the above raises more questions than answers. Perhaps if the Facebook wishes to stay ethically sane, it should enact a policy. What happens in the Facebook stays in the Facebook.
Google is the most powerful search engine on Earth. Today, billions of users Google for any kind of information. A former student's project now rules the World Wide Web. In 1997, Larry Page and Sergey Brin developed the so-called PageRank, a complex mathematical algorithm that ranks websites by their relevance. This groundbreaking invention profoundly transformed access to information. Google rapidly became the first choice for internet search, and this was just the beginning. Today, Google earns huge profits by dominating online advertising. It's well on the way to becoming the most valuable company on the global market. But is it just about money? These men pursue a great vision, the Google Master Plan. Any kind of information will be accessible to anybody. controlled by Google itself. With the credo, don't be evil. New features and products are constantly flying out of the Googleplex, all for free. Don't you worry about your privacy? The perfect blend of software and hardware, called Googleware, gives the company more computing power than anyone else. Google stores the entire known web in its giant database. And there's more. Gmail offers several gigabytes of free storage. It's no secret. All your mails, including received mails from your friends, are scanned. Google is methodically collecting personal data in many more ways, using cookies and account information. Merely to offer relevant text ads? Google can create incredibly detailed dossiers on every one of us. A former CIA agent claims that Google is cooperating undercover with the US government, including the CIA. Though appearing to simply want the best for its users, Google has already begun to expand its online domination. Total control, and not merely on the web. Google is conducting research in the fields of molecular biology and genetics. What if Google had a file on you, even including your entire genetic data? Every human being would become completely transparent. What do you think? Does Google really worry about our privacy?
Facebook.